There may be times that you need to edit a specific instance on the artboard in ways that require you to break the link between the original symbol and the instance. So there are certain things that we can do, like the scaling and the opacity and things like that, without affecting it. However, when we do break this link between a symbol and its instance, if we need to do that, the instance will no longer update if we edit it. So if we tell this fish, for example, not to be linked to the symbol anymore, if later on in 3 days we update the fish, we will not see this one changing. It's no longer linked. So you have to be aware of when you break a link. We can turn our smart guides back on. So over here we have smart guides. And with our selection tool, we're going to drag 3 copies of this surfboard symbol out onto our artwork, and we're actually going to cover up the stuff that we have already showing. So drag out 3 different instances of the tool of the surfboard. Sorry about that. All right, we're going to kind of make all 3 of these a little bit bigger, shift so that it's proportionate, but the center one is going to be bigger than the other 2. So kind of resize them so that you get something that looks like this and covers up most of this graphic. I think I'll make them a little bit bigger again. I'll make these 2 the same size, but this one I'm going to make bigger. Okay, so go ahead and bring out those 3 surfboards. When you're done, select the center surfboard, and over in our Properties panel, we're going to come over to this side, and there are some options down here in Quick Actions. We can edit the symbol, break the link, recolor, reset, arrange. We actually want to break the link, meaning this one is not going to be linked to the symbol anymore at all. So it's now just a series of paths. It's a group. We can see up here that it's now called a group. It's no longer a symbol, and that's fine. We're going to zoom into the top of this surfboard, and we're going to click away to deselect it. We're then going to take our direct selection tool, and we're going to drag across the top of this, just so we get, whoops, that's one thing I don't want to do, is get the flower underneath. I just want to get the top of this surfboard, specifically these anchor points, or the one top anchor point. When we see the word anchor, we're going to drag this down a little bit with our direct selection tool to kind of reshape the top of this surfboard, so it's a little bit different. Click away to deselect. You can see that this has a little bit rounder tip than the other 2. All right, next thing we're going to do is we're going to shift click on all 3 of the surfboards to select the 3 of them, and then we're going to send them backwards. So we're going to do Object, Arrange, Send to the back. All right, should be going all the way back. I'm not quite sure why some fish are not showing. They should be all the way back. Oh, it's always fun when weird things happen. Let's pick this one, Object, Arrange, go to the back. And pick you, Object, Arrange, Send to the back. I'm going to have to look at my layers panel. Oh, is that it? I'm only picking pieces of this? Whew. I am only picking pieces of this. Good grief. All right. I'm still in the direct selection tool. Darn it, that's what's going on. Switch to the selection tool so you get the whole object. Surfboard, whole surfboard, whole surfboard. Ugh, sorry about that, guys. The direct selection tool was just picking like the dark blue side. Now should be pretty easy to send them to the back. There we go. Now we have our fish on top and our flowers on top as well. Very good. While they were still selected, also my bad, we are going to group them. So come over to the Quick Actions and just click on the Group button. That way the 3 surfboards will move as one. Then we have replacing symbols. So you can easily replace a symbol instance with another symbol. So if you had used these Gerba daisies and say a rose, and somebody said, everywhere that you have a rose, I wish it would be the daisy instead. You can very quickly and easily swap out symbols. So with our regular selection tool, we're going to select the smallest fish instance. By the way, that's the one that has the darker green head, the one that we recolored. And all right, we can also look when we have it selected into our symbols panel, and we can see, you know, what symbol it's referring to. There's a little outline around it. It's already selected. Over in the properties panel, about 3/4 of the way down, we see an option for replace symbol, and we're going to click on the down arrow. And this is going to show us all of the different symbols that are available to us. We're actually going to just click on the flower symbol for now. So we're going to replace that one fish with a flower, and you can see that it did that. So if that original symbol that we're replacing had transformation applied, such as rotation or scaling, the new thing that we plug in is going to have the same. So we had a small fish, so it replaced it with a smaller flower. With the flower instance still selected on our artboard, we're going to go back and do that again. We're going to click on that, actually replace that with the fish. Notice it went back to the original fish with that lighter green colored face. It didn't show the dynamic one. So by going from one and then coming back to the original, we're able to get that face back to the color that we would like it to be. Okay, with this one fish selected, we're going to do select, same, symbol instance, and that's going to grab and group, or grab in one bounding box all three of our fish, and then we do want to group them. So come over to the properties panel and click on group, and then click away to deselect. The other thing that we don't cover too much in here, and it's kind of a bummer to me because I think it's super cool, is the symbol sprayer. It's no longer part of the main toolbar over here, so we need to go get it. So click on the three dots at the bottom of the toolbar, and then in the family, I'll start at the top and scroll down. We have drawing, shaper. About right here, we have the symbol sprayer tool. So I'm going to click to select it, and then I'm going to drag it somewhere in here. I don't want it nesting. I want it to be its own thing. So I'm going to do that. Don't know if we have to do all of these. I bet we do. So I'm going to take the shifter and I'm going to nest it in there. I'm going to take the scruncher and nest it. I'm going to take the sizer and nest it. You get the idea? We're going to nest all of these symbol tools. And there we go. And then click away. So I'm going to come over to this and I'm going to go back to the sprayer. Right now, my cursor size is huge, so I'm going to make it smaller, and I'm going to click, actually let's save our file so we can come back to this. Let's do a file, save as, and we're good through 398. All right, now that that's done, I'm going to come to the original or the top option, the symbol sprayer. I'm going to grab some daisies and I'm going to click, hold down my mouse, and I'm going to drive around with the symbol sprayer. Now, you can't tell me that isn't cool. I think that's pretty darn cool. We're spraying it out of the sprayer. And you can see I stayed close by at first, but then I started to move around. Look at that. Now again, this is just one, it's referring to one instance of this flower. So our file size is very small as compared to if this were all individual artwork. All right, I'm going to undo twice. That's the symbol sprayer. Then we have, actually I need to do that, never mind. If you are doing along with me, spray some symbols around. Then we can go into these different tools, and I don't have information in front of me. It was in an older version of our book, so I'm just gonna guess, and sure enough, this is the scruncher. So if you didn't like where they scrunch together when you were originally bringing them out, you can use this version, the symbol shifter, to shift them around a little bit. The next one down is the scruncher. I was ahead of my time. And this should be scrunching this smaller. Not sure if I'm seeing that result or not. Oops, yeah. Go back to that tool. Huh, not sure. The sizer, okay, there we go. At least that one makes sense. We made it a lot bigger, so you can just come through here and randomly make some of these bigger. The spinner changes the direction, and you can see the little tip of the arrow kind of showing you which way it's going, so you can add some variety that way too. The stainer, I'm going to try to remember how this one works. Oh, there we go. Definitely made some changes, and I'm thinking this was our last color that we had used, so it's staining it based on that. We also have the screener, and that screens them out, makes them lighter. Kind of cool. And we have the stylizer to fit. Select a style. Oh, okay. So we remember our graphic styles from last time. So there's one that has a drop shadow. So maybe I could spray this one with a drop shadow, and it did that. It put the style, the graphic style was applied to this one instance of the symbol, or whichever ones I click on. So this is pretty cool, I think. You can think of different applications. Maybe you're making flowers for a flower bed and you're just going to use it as symbols. Again, there are a billion things in these libraries, and it's kind of fun just to poke around and see what they are. One year we did like a treasure map, so we did a lot of the tiki things, and this appears to be a bunch of diamonds. Gosh, what's mad science look like? Ooh, look at this fun stuff. So here's a symbol. Got to spray it first. So some pretty fun stuff. Go crazy. All right, now I need to clean up this mess that I made, and I think it's going to be easiest just to close this because we've already worked through the end of this and saved it as page 398. So I'm going to close this one without saving. All right, excellent.